Momentum is everything, not talent, not motivation, not even intelligence. Momentum, because momentum is what turns a small step into a journey, a single decision into a new identity, and an ordinary person into someone unstoppable. Let me tell you something most people never realize. Success rarely begins with a massive breakthrough. It doesn't start with a viral moment, a big opportunity, or a sudden wave of confidence. It starts quietly, almost invisibly, with one small action repeated when nobody is watching. Think about a heavy flywheel, a giant metal wheel used in old machines. When you first try to push it, it barely moves. You strain, you sweat, you wonder if it's broken, but you keep pushing. Slowly, it turns. One rotation, then another, then another. Each turn makes the next one easier, until eventually it's spinning so fast that it carries its own force. That's momentum, and your life works the same way. The problem is, most people quit during the first push. They go to the gym for 3 days and stop. They study hard for a week and relax for a month. They start a project, feel resistance, and disappear. Then they say, "It didn't work." It didn't work because they never stayed long enough to build momentum. Momentum is not dramatic. It's boring, repetitive, uncelebrated, but it is powerful beyond measure. Here's the dangerous truth. Life punishes hesitation and rewards motion. Even imperfect motion beats perfect planning. A flawed step forward beats a flawless plan that never leaves your head. You don't need the perfect routine. You need a repeatable one. You don't need to feel ready. You need to begin, because action creates energy, not the other way around. Most people wait to feel motivated before they act. High performers act first, and motivation follows. They understand a hidden law. Motion changes emotion. When you move, your state changes. When your state changes, your decisions change. And when your decisions change, your future changes. Momentum is a psychological advantage as much as a practical one. Once you start keeping promises to yourself, small ones, your brain begins to trust you. Confidence doesn't come from affirmations. It comes from evidence. Evidence that you show up. Evidence that you continue. Evidence that you finish. And momentum builds that evidence. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Momentum works both ways. Just like positive momentum can lift you, negative momentum trap you. One lazy decision silently votes for a lazy identity. That's why small actions matter more than big intention. Your life is not shaped by what you plan occasionally, but by what you repeat daily. You don't fall behind in one dramatic collapse. You drift behind in tiny, comfortable steps. And you don't get ahead in one heroic leap. You build ahead in small, disciplined moves. Momentum doesn't care about your mood. It responds to your behavior. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. Those are the most important days to show up, because every time you act despite resistance, you add weight to your flywheel. You strengthen your self-image. You become the kind of person who continues, not the kind who negotiates with excuses. Understand this, the first phase always feels unfair. You work hard and see little result. You practice and still look average. You try and still struggle. This is where most people walk away, right before momentum begins to multiply results. Results are delayed. Momentum is compounding. Effort stacks quietly before it pays loudly. Farmers don't dig up seeds every day to check if they're growing. They water consistently and trust the process. Your effort works the same way. Consistency feels slow until suddenly it feels fast. Another secret, protect your momentum aggressively. Avoid long breaks. Avoid emotional decision-making. Avoid the trap of "I'll restart next Monday." Rest if you must, but don't stop. Reduce the load, not the habit. If you train 10 minutes instead of 60, momentum leaves. If you write one paragraph instead of one chapter, momentum lives. Never drop to zero. Restarting is always harder than continuing slowly. And here's the final truth. Momentum changes identity. At first, you force the habit. Then you manage the habit. Finally, the habit carries you. You don't rise to your goals. You roll toward. Like and subscribe if you want to level up. Until next time.